when you put the money back in. If you wait more than, I forgot the allotted amount of time, somewhere 2 weeks or a month, whatever the amount of time is, if you wait and still put that money back in, Uncle Sam, this your Uncle Sam, he's gonna have his hand out saying, nope, you held that money too long, I want 30%. So if you took out $100,000, like, no, I'm gonna roll it over, I found a better investment, it's gonna be great, and you held that $100,000 and put it back in 2 months later, Uncle Sam is still gonna say, like, nah, I need 30,000 of that, please, and probably. Okay, so we need to be careful. With your rollovers, always roll it right over into a new plan, never let it touch your hands. It becomes a hot potato the moment you touch your hands, okay? We good? Questions? All right, so what do you look for if you're getting ready to roll over? The historical average annual return rate is 7%. That's on the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. It's historically 7%. So a great return on investment is averaging 10%. So if you have a 401k or 403b and it's averaging more than 10%, my advice to you, do not touch it. I recommend you let it roll exactly where it is. If it's earning 7 to 9%, that's still good. I wouldn't touch it, let it roll. But if it's averaging less than 5%, I would say you need to take a look and see if there are better options on the open market for you, because you're going to end up like my man Charles, holding $2,500 when everything around you costs $3,500. Okay? So, what are individual retirement accounts? Here goes 2 ways. As you Uncle Sam's back. So, it's not if you're going to be taxed; it's when you're going to be taxed. For my people that want to contribute to a traditional IRA, IRAs are your individual retirement account. You can do this through your employer or outside of your employer. First of all, under federal law, individuals may set aside personal savings up to a certain amount, and the interest grows tax deferred. If you take the traditional IRA route, you can put up to $5,500 per person. So if you're married, that's $11,000 you can put in there. That $11,000 becomes a tax deduction for you right now. If you make $100,000, or if you make $50,000, you put in $11,000, the government can only look at $39,000 of yours for taxation. Instantly, just like that. Before any standard deductions, all of that. Boom. Just like that. Roth are, but as soon as you go to take that money out, they're going to get a piece of it every single month. Every single month. If you contribute to a Roth IRA, you can put up to the same amount, $5,500 per person, $11,000 total. But since you waited till you got your check in your hand and you put it in there, that money has already been taxed. The government tries hard for individuals to avoid double taxation. So, when you pull that money out of retirement, it is 100% tax-free. Government takes none of it. They can't. They don't want it because they already taxed you anyway. So the action is pretty good. Go.
Why would somebody go traditional instead of Roth?
Because if I'm $5,000 into a new tax bracket, let's say I made $97,000 and it just pushed me into a new tax bracket where I'm going to be taxed at a higher rate, I can reduce my amount back down the other way and enter a lower tax bracket by doing so. Does that make sense? So if I make $97,000 and me and my wife decide that we're going to put in $5,500 a piece, my new wage now is $84. So now I'm back in that previous tax bracket. It's a game, guys. It's a game. It's all a game. It's 100% a game. The government always wins spoilers, but it is a game, and that's why tax planning is so serious. You see people treat taxes as soon as January 1st starts through November. They're always doing something with their tax exemption, tax numbers, and they're always playing taxes. You gotta play the game if you're trying to win to get a refund. All right. So let's talk about now that we talked about the investing and the IRAs and stuff. Let's talk about pool investing. So pool investing are mutual funds and standards and poors. Poor is probably a bad name to get something. You're trying to get people to invest, but it's the S&P 500. All right. I figured out a video that's a minute long, and it'll show you some of what pool investing actually is. So this is the mutual fund part of pool investing. And then just point out some pros and some cons you think you'll see instantly. Did everybody see that fund?
A mutual fund pools the capital of many individual investors and invests it in a set portfolio. Steve decides that he would like to start investing. He wants a balanced portfolio broken down into 50% stocks, 30% bonds, and 20% cash. However, Steve has only $50 to begin investing. This means he only has $25 for stocks and even less for bonds. Steve's lack of cash limits his ability to invest in a balanced way by himself, but he can invest in a mutual fund to get around this problem. A mutual fund allows Steve to pool his money with other investors that want to invest in a balanced portfolio. By purchasing units in the fund, Steve can get the exposure he wants. Utilizing the strength in numbers, mutual funds allow individual investors to allocate their investment dollars in ways they couldn't have otherwise. There are many types of mutual funds, including energy funds, emerging market funds, and even funds of funds. These offer investors many flavors of portfolio exposure.
What is something you like about that mutual fund? If you don't have a lot of money, you can still start investing, right? One of the negatives of mutual funds will probably be then you're pooling with a lot of people at the same time. So if we were all to create a mutual fund, we all go $50 in on a mutual fund, all of us, and then CNN reports the next day that the stock market is about to crash, go get your money, how many of you would go get that money? Somebody go get it? Mm-hmm. You go get your money? Okay, that's one of the problems with mutual funds. When people go get their money, it works backwards on your portfolio. That's why they have to leave a certain amount of cash in each mutual fund, because they know that if 100 people go in, 65 are going to come get their money. But that's why your mutual fund will, the one thing about mutual funds is they will probably lose money, but they will never get you rich. They will never get you rich, but they're very, very safe because they'll earn you like 1 or 2%. They just go along with the inflation, they just roll with it. You'll never see a large amount of money come from it, okay? Here goes some other, this is so much fun. Advantages of mutual funds. The diversification. You can mix, like, instead of investing into Georgia Power, you can say, I just want to invest in electricity. So even if Georgia Power goes down and another electrical company comes up, you automatically are in that company. So that's a pro. Easy access, of course, we talked about that. They're highly liquid, so at any moment, if you like, I'm not feeling this, you can go get your money. Low cost, so if you got a lot of money or not a lot of money, you can go right into it and help with a mutual fund. All right? There goes some disadvantages. What they left out of that video is when you go get your money, they're automatically going to attach a management fee to it. So they're going to take a little bit of it. So even if you're a winner or a loser, so if you put in 100 and you lost 35, they're still going to say, wait a minute, I need 10. I need 10, so you're going to get $5 back. All right? So just be careful. And cash, I know cash doesn't sound like a negative, but with cash is just sitting there. If cash is not invested and just sitting there, there's no different from what Charles did. But actually, this is more dangerous because instead of it sitting in your bank account that you own, it's sitting in a mixed bank account with everybody in this room. So if somebody decides that they're going to pull out and actually pull the profile into a negative, you start losing money that you never even touched. So be very, this is why we talk about it. It has pros, but it has cons, and I'll show you some pros with a live. I have pulled somebody's profile live, and we'll look at that one. S&P 500. We're gonna watch a very short video on that. All right, so let's watch a very short video on the S&P 500.
What is the S&P 500? It's an index comprised of the 500 largest publicly traded companies by market cap. So basically the 500 most influential US publicly traded companies. Now it's a market cap weighted index, so the companies that are disproportionately larger, like Apple and Exxon, make up have the most influence over the index, while maybe smaller, more obscure companies like Mako Surgical or First Solar at the low end have a much lower weighting. I prefer the S&P as a benchmark or true indication of how the market's doing over an index like the Dow Jones Industrials Average for that very same reason. The Dow only comprises 30 components and it's price weighted, so if a company has a higher share price, they'll have a disproportionate weighting on the index. I like that the S&P is market cap weighted, and I believe that provides a much more accurate picture of what the market is doing on a day-to-day basis. Now, granted, the S&P isn't perfect. It's not a truly complete measure of all investable securities out there, but because it represents the 500 largest and most commonly traded securities, it's a 95% accurate gauge for exactly how the market is doing. So I personally use the S&P 500 as a benchmark for my own portfolio to test my performance to see, am I outperforming the market or am I underperforming the market? And I believe many investors would be wise to use it in the same manner.
Okay. What do y'all think about the S&P 500? I know, let me back up. I know this is a lot of information at one time. It's financial information. I know it's a lot. But if you got any questions, please at any moment wave it down. I'll break it down. But what do you think about the S&P 500 so far? So the S&P 500 is great if you are planning on investing in nothing but the biggest and brightest companies out there, right? So if you know you're going to put money into Apple, Amazon, Walmart, Target, you know that's where your money going. Use the S&P 500 versus the Dow because that's where all your stocks are anyway. The problem is, if you know you're going to start investing in smaller companies or foreign companies, the S&P 500 might mislead you into thinking you're doing great, and the whole time you're losing money because the lower stocks are actually suffering all the way through. So you have to be cautious and know where your money is. For the lower stocks, I would definitely use the Dow Jones, and for if you know you're going to put your money in companies that quote unquote won't fail, Disney, Verizon, I would definitely use the S&P 500 on that one. But just recommendation.
Excuse me. So what's a good starting number of shares to buy if you're going to invest in?
Okay, I'm gonna break that down.
Got you.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So why are so many people jumping into the pool? They historically have lower return on investment than stock investments. They are slower paybacks than stock investments. They have slower growth in stock investments. So what's the point? A lot of people are running to pool investing to make a little bit of money because they remember how they tried to buy stock as an individual. This is how stocks used to be when you tried to buy it as an individual. All right? You start over here when you deposited your cash, and from there, it was your work. It's however you wanted to move. But you had to execute everything unless you bought a stock broker. And unfortunately, you know how that works. You would have to pay them also to do this exact same math for you. So a lot of people jump ship off stock because it was just too complex. But I tell you this now, 2 companies have had big breakthroughs on making sure that people can get the stock that they want, and it's very reasonable and it's very understandable. Betterment and M1. All right, so it's easy to use. It gives you access to exactly where your money is at all times. You don't have to call a phone and then talk to your stockbroker and let him guess where $3,500 of yours is. It automatically, it tells you everything where your money is. There's no middleman, but this is a pro and a con. It's an Autobot. It's a transformer. So it's a robot that makes all adjustments. So with all the emotion out of it, if you hear on CNN that Disney their stock is getting ready to go through the roof, if you have current stock in Disney, you're going to be a huge winner. And you go online and you try to buy stock immediately. The Autobot removes all the emotion, so it won't buy the stock until the next day. That's a con if you're trying to come up. You get what I'm saying? But it makes all the adjustments at the next day at the beginning of the period. So, with that being said, I guess we can just watch a very small video of Betterment, and then from Betterment, we're going to watch a video well, we might skip the video of M1, and I'll just show you M1. But they both do the same thing. So this video pretty much covers both of them, except M1 gives you the power in your hands. So let's just look at this.
Betterment, the smart, modern way to invest, as explained by actual employees.
Hello.
With no financial jargon.
The old way of investing is like a paper map. You have to figure out how to get from A to B yourself, and you have no idea whether or not there's traffic on the way. Betterment's like a GPS. We help you get to where you need to go, and we use technology so that you can just enjoy the ride.
Nice. How does it work?
You come to Betterment, you tell us what you're saving for. Retirement, vacation, home down payment, boat.
Boats are cool.
Boats are cool. We take all this information and make recommendations about how much you should invest with us initially, how much you should save over time, what type of risk you should be taking. From there, the technology makes you personalized portfolios of stock and bond ETFs based on our...
Little help here?
Okay, it's like having a team of chefs who make delicious, well-balanced meals based on your preferences. Like, you only eat organic.
But why should I choose Betterment?
We're a fiduciary.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, fiduciary is a strange word, but it's a simple concept. It means that we are bound to do what's right for our clients.
Fantastic. Okay, Nick, can you tell us more?
The technology at Betterment is designed to take all of the complicated processes that go into building the portfolio and streamline them so that you don't really have to worry about it.
Can you use an analogy?
Kind of like a pizza, right?
Not at all like a pizza. How much does it cost?
The annual fee of Betterment is 25 basis points. On an account with $100,000, that's like $20 per month, which is a fraction of the cost of what you would pay for traditional financial services. Plus, there's no hidden fees.
Swish. Is there anything else we should know?
Yeah, customers have access to financial experts anytime, anywhere.
Anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere.
So you're saying Betterment is the smart, modern way to invest?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot easier.
Well done.
What are some of your thoughts about Betterment? Sound good, right? So always be careful with some families. They pick the stocks for you. They recommend an asset allocation. Like they'll tell you, like, okay, if you're trying to buy a home, we recommend you go 70% stock, 30% bonds, or 50-50, depending on what they recommend. You don't have to take their recommendation at all. You can push 100% to stock or 0% to. It's on you. But that's what they recommend. And they'll rebalance it, reinvest it, your dividends, auto deposit, and like she said, it comes with a very small fee attached, 0.25 for online financial advice. And if you want to talk to somebody over the phone, it goes up to 0.4 of whatever you have invested. So
is there a minimum amount you have to put in, or how is it?
I think that when they first introduced this, it was 0, but now I think it's 500. I think it's $500. I could be wrong, but I definitely think it's 500. So you start off with $500, and if you want to talk to them, you can. If you don't want to, you have to pick up the phone and talk to them. You don't have to, but they'll make allocations for you. You keep your own money in, and at any moment you just go on your phone, look up, okay, I'm outperforming the market. You can hit rebalance if you want to, but they'll tell you like, hey, it's better if we do it. Your choice. That's your choice. Okay. Questions? Any more questions? Yes.
Once you get the goal of whatever you're saving for instance, a house,
Yes.
down payment, what's that process?
Okay, so that's a really good question. She asked, what happens when you hit your goals? You can take the money out. You ready for this part? Uncle Sam? So if you do decide to play this game, you need to realize that there is something called short-term capital gains and long-term capital gains. If you leave the money in for all those years, let's say 55 years to get it, you'll be taxed at a capital gain, which is great. With a long-term capital gain, which is great. That's exactly what you want. Uncle Sam is nicer to you with a long-term capital gain. If you put this money in and you put $500 in, you make $300 off of it, and then 2 weeks later you decide I want out, they're gonna give you all $800. Uncle Sam's gonna for a lot more because that's called a short-term gain. You got in for the purpose of some quick cash and got out. The government don't play those games. Those quick gains to get out, they got plans. All right, so if you save for your home, like you said, long term, they get a long term capital gain, and then you can actually, not trying to dig too deep, but you can actually use that as a down payment on your home, and use that if you're a first time homeowner to actually offset any prices of taxes coming out. So you can just be like, oh no, you want that money? I'm a first time homeowner, so I use that for actually that. Oh, we'll get you next time. And then they just go there and go get somebody else. All right. Man.
So those are some benefits for betterment. What are the shortfalls like? Does it suffer outage? Like, some of the 21st century technology, the banking has that problem, where you put your money in and then, oops, something happened, and it went somewhere else. Do we ever suffer outage?
I don't know of any, but like I said, it is still, your money is still going into stock. Still going into stock, which means that if for some reason the stock market collapses, you're gonna realize you put in $5,000, you had $10,000 worth of gain, the stock market collapsed 2 weeks later, you only got $263.22. All right? That was a real scenario.
That real situation.
All right, so you went from being plus to being negative. Be careful. Always pay attention. And by the way, once you decide to play this game, that little stock market up and down thing at the bottom of the screen means a lot more to you now. That means a lot more now. All right. So this is M1. We're going to skip the video, but M1 is just going to walk you through how to do your first deposit. Unless y'all want to watch it.
We have one question.
Oh, go.
And I was going to say, with the betterment, you actually can start. Well, like the minimum is like $25. Actually, it's not. It's not that. It is like it's extremely safe. If you want it to be stock, but like you said, if the stock market crashes, you are going to lose. But another good thing, and I know they mentioned it on the screen, is like you can download the app. It's free, so you can watch your money daily. I have betterment, so you can always monitor it, and I haven't lost anything yet. But it's just really safe if you want to go about doing in the stock market yourself.
Okay. Yeah, can I ask you a question? Is your ultimate save goal retirement? What does betterment have you locked in for as a save goal? I know you don't have to keep your goal, but what save goal did you naturally input to make the betterment?
You know what? I actually just went with like the default settings because I haven't really played around with it more. But they do let you know if you on. I can't remember the amount that I have to say that right now.
Okay.
But they do let you know if you're on track. Like you said, let you know if you're on track, how at risk you are, how much percent you should put in stock, and otherwise. So I haven't.
So yeah, y'all actually got somebody that actually taking part in betterment. I was just gonna get around to, I personally don't have anybody that's working with betterment. All my people working with Wealthfront and M1. Wealthfront is not even, they're not even bad. They don't even talk to you unless you put $10,000 down. Yeah, that's why you see that on the presentation, right? It's like, they didn't even think on the phone, I just tried to give you information. So are you investing today? No, I just need, thank you, go to our website. But they got it. We'll skip this video. But the main point of this video is to show you the new way that M1 does money. You add money, you put it into M1, and then you create your portfolio. You have just taken away that other person telling you what to do with your money. This is 100% on you. You will pass or fail according to how great you are within your stock budget. Somebody got something? Question? Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question. The stock market is really not for the faint of heart to me. I mean, so you have your threshold, you kind of expect at some point to lose, it fluctuates. So once you establish what your say, I'm gonna lose 15,000.
Okay.
But then at that point, I want to make some changes because I'm not willing to risk, everything. But then at that point, once you change, is that when you have to, as long as I don't touch it, Do I have to pay taxes on it?
So you're saying if you with Betterment and M1 and you want to get out of it and roll into a safer plan, like with your job, put it into your job? No, you can roll out. You can roll in, and if you ain't comfortable, you can roll out into a safer plan with your 401k and your 403b. Now you two learn.
No. It's just I'm retired, so I'm not.
Okay, so more of a fixed income, and you're looking for, okay,
Yeah, something.
safety net.
Yeah.
Okay, ooh, that's a good one. Okay, I'm not thinking about that one. Safety net. I'm gonna get there. I'm talking to you. Because with retirement, fixed income, it's a lot going on. Okay, I got you. The new way, M1, put your money in, you select your piece of the pie that you want. You can say, I want 25% going to Walt Disney, I want 25% going to Walmart, I want 25% going to Target, and you get them amount of money, they automatically do it for you. I got permission from one of my clients to use one of her play accounts, so I really thank her for that. But here goes one of her play accounts. So most people want to know where to start at for investing, where to start at for stock. We have a very simple method for that. It's called home. Literally, go home and look at what you spend your money on. Whatever you spend your money on, it's time that you start getting some money back from it. Okay? So loyal customer of Verizon right here. She bought Verizon. Let me break this down because there's a lot going on. We printed this out on her 1 year anniversary. So in 1 year, she was able to turn this into $1,800 worth of gain. All right? She bought this stock a year ago, and she, as you can see, is valued at $2,000, but she has $216 worth of gain. Your kids are important too. But you see this WWE down here? When she has a little brother that always just wanted, I need this, I need wrestling, always wrestling. So she looked at the stock price. Stock price of that was like $2. And then she was like, hey, her little brother was like, hey, they get ready to drop something. It's $5.99 a month. It's a subscription. Buy it for me. So she said, okay. But then she went and bought stock too. And by her buying that stock, that $166 right there includes that $628 worth of gain. She got it for like $1, and that's worth like $7, $8 a piece. So listen to your kids. Sometimes they got great stock advice. Of course, Nike. Everybody rolls with Nike. Who's not watching Netflix? And who's not shopping at Walmart? And J.P. Morgan. She also has a Ford Focus. Oh, you had your hand right. Okay. Okay. She also has a Ford and all that stuff. So she also invested in Ford. Everything. This is her proudest investment, because all she did was go home and say, I think it's time that instead of them always making money off of me, I get a little bit of that back. And that's all it was. It was nothing special about it. And as you can see, a lot of these companies are also labeled too big to fail. So that's something to take into consideration. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I know I see the value in the value. The value, is that how much money she put into it initially?
No. So here goes the beautiful part. She put nothing in there initially. She put in $100 to see what happened, and then that $100 made another $100. So then she reinvested that with this cash. That's a button right there too. As soon as you log on your app, it's just gonna ask you, do you want to auto deposit? You can auto invest it. But then about around April, this is important. That vertical is a direct contribution of cash. She didn't use some leftover tax money. All right, leftover tax money, put in $3,000 right there, increased it, and then you start to see that this rise is going. Then she used another $4,000 or $5,000 right here after she got those gains. And as you can see from there, she hasn't contributed nothing directly, and this is all time value in money. That's all time value in money.
So it's from the initial $100 and then reinvesting some of the money that she made. The value is $14,000 right now.
Yes.
And she gained, what is it, how do you come up with the gain part of it?
Okay, the gains are, I didn't show you all of her profiles, but she has a ton. I see that mark going down there? That's stuff that they don't see. She has a whole bunch of different games that's happening below the screen too. All right, so these are just the biggest ones that I wanted to show. But it's just that home method. Go home, go home. Just look around. As soon as you unlock your door, what do you see? See a Samsung TV or a Vizio? That's something you might want to look into. Well, I mean, when you go into your bathroom, what's in that bathroom? Everything is a stop. Yes.
Listening to her correctly, I guess she wants to know how to the game. So how long did it take for that game to occur? Is that her whole year's game?
Yes, this is total. This is cumulative. So the game that you see here is all games from September through September. All right. But has anybody been paying attention that the stock market is currently down a little bit? All right. So we did a small check before we got here, and her profile is actually missing 400 of these dollars. So she's still up 1,400, but it's not 1,800 anymore. But do you see how it's important to always keep up with that? Always keep up with that. Please don't go to sleep on your profile. Yes.
So let's just say right now she says I want to get out of the stock market altogether, and she cashes in her portfolio. Will that $14,000 is hers or just the game?
Now, all that if she cashes out, she gets her principal back, which is the gain minus the value minus the gain is the money she put in. So she gets her principal back, no tax consequences whatsoever. But there's going to be a Schedule D attached to her taxes. Schedule D is capital gains. She's going to have a Schedule D attached. And because she waited a year to do such, it's going to be considered a long term. Not as much better. All right. All right. So here goes another method that is used from someone else. I got someone else that's like, look, I read Dave Ramsey's book on how to save money, right? But I got burned by it. I was paying off my car fast. I was doing everything fast, and I wrecked the car that I was almost done paying for. And they didn't give me back the value that I put in on the accelerated payments. Okay. I said, okay. He said, so here's what I do now. I put my money in very safe. Remember, look at that S&P 500. Remember we talked about those very small gains? He puts his money in a stock to the side, and when he has enough to pay something off completely, that's how he pays it off. So he makes his regular car payments, puts $1,000 to the side each month, and then when it's time to pay that car off, he just gonna walk in there and say, hey. But if this car gets wrecked, let's say he gets $12,000 in his account, and the car gets wrecked. Instead of that dealership having that money and saying, sorry, we'll cut you a check eventually, he gets the fair value of that car, and he got to keep his $12,000. That's just something to keep an eye on, just something to think about. But notice this one too. This one is important. I think one of these has a negative. See, money is being lost at the same time money is being gained. Always keep an eye on that. And if you notice, he's not even making enough money off this. There's not even a lot of money here. He's only made $167 off of it, but it is from May, June, July, August, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. 5 months again. So, question? Yeah, so it's your money first. A lot of people are starting to use this method for home buying also. So if you're buying a home, if you say, I want to make accelerated payments, they make accelerated payments to themselves, paying that yourself first. So you pay yourself with these accelerated payments. That way, because we all know that if you make all these accelerated payments and you 3 years away from paying this house off and you can't afford to pay it off no more, are they going to give you back that accelerated money and then let you break even with the house? Or are they going to take the whole house and keep the money? So since they are thinking like that, we have to think ahead of them. Since this is technically not my house yet because I'm making payments to you, I'm going to pay myself first. And if I'm going to keep paying you, and when this hits, let's say this hits $75,000, I will then walk in with that $75,000 handed to you. It'll be tax-free. I won't be having to worry about it because I'm using it to pay off the loan plus interest. Actually, it's a tax deduction. And we can call it even. But until then, I'm keeping my money to myself, because if something goes wrong with this house, or I have to move or something, and something goes down, and you don't want to give me the fair value that I put in, that's okay. I still got my money to the side, all right? So we're thinking about ourselves here first. Don't get it wrong, we're still gonna pay them, we owe them, we're paying them, we get it, we got it, good. But we also need to protect ourselves, because like I said, when something happens and something goes down for some reason, we are the first ones to lose all our money first, and then they lose. Like we have indication of the stock market. Like black people lost their money. Like, oh, we know we're drunk. Once again, I just want to bring up the ROIs, remind you that even though we just got done talking about all these stocks and everything's going good, 7% is the return rate, but don't roll over. With Betterment, you can roll over. With M1, you can roll over. But do not roll over if you're already in a good plan. Don't worry about it. You might lose a couple $1,000, but like we talked about with Autumn Daily over there, you losing $4,000 out of 796,000 is not gonna hurt you that bad. I hope not. All right. So let's catch our breath. How we feel? It's a lot of information, y'all. All right. Cool. How we feel? This was like a tea break right here. But I know.
So if you love an employer, you have a 401k, you have money sitting in there, and it's not really doing anything, what are the options? I know rolling over to IRAs is something that's traditionally done, but how do you choose what IRA accounts you roll your money over to?
Is it a governmental? Is it a 403B or 401k? Okay, so your options are you can Betterment, you can M1, or you can roll over to your current contribution plan.
You're not contributing anything.
Oh, if you're not contributing right now? So you're looking for options, right? Okay.
So the job is done, the money is just sitting there, I'm not rolling it over to another account.
Or do you plan on doing anything with it? Where do you want it? Where do you want it to roll to? Like where do you feel safe is making sure that your money stays your money? That's the number one question I'm gonna ask you.
I'm looking for options.
Are you looking for options? Okay, so she reported that I'm sorry, I mentioned your name. Ayana reported that she hasn't had any losses with M1, with Betterment. I haven't known anybody personally with any losses with Betterment also, but I also haven't known anybody with M1. I don't have a preference because I'm not a spokesperson for either of them. But sit down with yourself and find out which plan is the best plan. And after this presentation, we can get together. We also got a question with you also. And we can get together and we can find out, okay, here goes a list of options. Because there are tools out here that line up all your financial options according to your household that fits you the best. Because I don't know the situation. So what fits your household the best? Say, hey, if you're living with this kind of income, with this, and you just with this, these are the best for you. And then we'll look at what's best for you. So that's what's most important. I'm not trying to give you a cookie cutter of what's best for me or what's best for Dr. Beecham. Is what's best for you. At the end of the day, you gotta get that. Like, all right. This is something that's cool for this is something that I looked into personally because father of twins, this is important. 529 investments. I use since I'm prior military, I use USAA. I'm not promoting USAA at all, but I just got this up here today. The reason why I got located in Nevada is because you can open up 529s for your kids. As you can see, 529s are ways that you can pay for school. Now you can pay for a public school, a private school, a religious school. But the coolest thing I like about this is it turns, you can get the family to contribute also. So you can turn your child's education into a family thing. So when everybody's yelling at their graduation, everybody can know I put in $300 in 99, and now that $300 is $2,463 going towards their college. Yes, I made a huge difference, and I did it before. So this is just a cool concept. Each state has these. I think Georgia has a tax deduction for them, but the reason I put USAA up here is to show you that even though I'm contributing, I get no tax benefit. Nevada does not have a tax benefit. The government doesn't want to hear about I'm saving for my kids' college. They could care less. They're like, okay, you're based out in Nevada, no help. All right? But yeah, that's a pretty cool concept. Let's start turning our kids' graduation to help close that education, even though it's only 5% of the wealth gap. We can close that up rather quickly by having that money. And of course, every dollar we keep our kids out of debt in college is $8 or $9 towards their future. So let's send our kids on a good path when they get to college by making sure that they already have the money intact, instead of signing that paper at the bottom for them to get another loan. And then when they don't pay, it's back on you for that. Those parent loans, man, jeez. Ooh, ooh. Yes. Ooh, taxes. Yeah.
About the 529.
Okay.
Let's just say, you have to use that to pay for the education yearly. Let's just say you're saving it for college.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens if the child decides not to go to college?
Okay, if the child decides to not go to college, but all that money is sitting there waiting on them, you got two choices. You give it to another child that's going to college and it'll be tax free, or you can take it out and get taxed. You ain't gonna get away. You thought you were gonna get away? So with the 529s, they are awesome with the tax free. You get to send your kids to school and deductions and all that. But if your child wakes up and says, you know what, I got $1 million plan, I'm fresh out of high school, I want to do this, you can give them the money to start that venture, but the moment it touches your hand, it's a knock on the door. Well, not for metaphorically. Uncle Sam coming. All right. So taxes. Here go your two choices with taxes. You can hand it over willingly, or they can come get it. All right. Now, the beautiful thing is that with what we do with taxes is we focus on tax avoidance, which is legal, which is going through your paperwork, finding ways to get you deductions, legal deductions, that you can pay less on taxes. Tax evasion is 100% illegal. There ain't no way to pretty that up. Somebody going to jail. Well, since I have certification, I'll go to jail. I ain't trying to buy no honey bun to do. So let's look at some of the tax changes. We're gonna go through this fast too. Let's look at, for my single people, this was you last year with your taxes. All right? As you can see now, you're in a lower tax bracket across the board, and more of your income is in less tax brackets. So that's a good thing. You know, I know our current president, boy, next slide. For married filing jointly, the same thing. Look at this. Everybody's in a better tax bracket than last year. Except for my people making less than 19, because they really don't respect us on that level. So nobody on that level. Because they just keep you 10 across the board. But other than that, 12%, 22%, these are huge gains moving forward. Back into your pocket. You get to keep your money. More money for investing, more money for whatever. It's your money, right? It's finally. So, according to these slides and these tax brackets, what's the big deal? What's the big deal for next year, right? Here's what you're gaining. You're gaining double standard deduction. For all my people that do standard deduction, last year, if you were single, your deduction was $6,000. This year, $12,000. You're married, your deduction was, and by deduction I mean that's money straight off the top that's not taxable. Don't even worry about it. You're not gonna pay tax on it immediately. If you're married, it went from $12,000 to $24,000. What's the big deal? You look on your face. You already ready for the sale. You get it, hit me with it. You got higher deductions still, and you got lower taxes. But here it goes. You lose your personal exemptions. If you know anything about taxes, those personal exemptions add up very fast according to how your family works. So even though, and I am married with twins, last year I got $16,000 worth of exemptions, so $16,000 of my income, bam. Don't even worry about taxes. This year, all that $16,000, right back into play. All of it. So, and I got a cool example with one of my professors that just can't stop having kids. But let's have some fun with this, right? So 2017 tax return. This is from somebody I worked with that was single. I'm only gonna give you the good examples. So yay, let's only focus on the positive people. Let's focus on positive, right? So last year, standard deduction $6,000, exemption was $4,000, taxable income was $40,000. taxes paid with that calculation, that's how I calculated. Taxes paid with that calculation, he gave $5,500 to federal, we got a $452 tax return. He wasn't complaining. That's a good day. This year, his stamp deduction doubled, so now you got less money going in. He's taxed less, same amount of money, you get $1,300 back. What? He's happy, right? Let's take a look at our married people, right? So married people, $100,000 worth of income, the standard deduction still there, exemption, $64,000 of taxable income. They paid tax credits, and they got $3,000 worth of tax credits because each kid, well, not each kid, I've got more than 3, they don't care. But the first 3 kids are $1,000 worth of tax credits. So this is refundable. Yay. They paid $11,000 in, they got back $5,300. Next year, exemption's gone, but this doubled and that credit doubled. And if they contribute $11,000, which they have been trying to do, they'll get back 82 next year. Wow. That's good. All right, like I said, we ain't gonna go through all the mechanics now. Let's focus on the bottom. All right. There go one of my professors. Married 90. All right. He loves me, I think.
9 kids.
But last year he had a standard deduction of $12,000 because he married, and he had $44,000 worth of exemptions because you still get your personal exemption, but you don't get the child tax credit for it. So he had taxable income, and I don't know his person. I didn't do all that, so I didn't even make up the numbers. So, no, we might know. So he had $46,000 worth of taxable income. This year he got $74,000 worth of taxable income, so we're gonna have to find something. You got to make up a lot of ground to not pay as much tax as you did last year. You already paid. And now, yeah, you got a lot of ground. Yay! Tax questions, y'all? Flip the slide, hurry up. All right, let's talk about real estate. All right, the beautiful thing, if you're working with me or anybody that I work with, you'll never hear me say, don't do it. I will ask you to know what you're doing. All right? Real estate and land investments are very tricky because a lot of people look at, okay, I bought it for $50,000 and 3 years later I sold it for $60,000. I made $10,000. No, you forgot about the capitalization of your interest. You forgot about land. Land doesn't appreciate what money and time does. So your gain is a lot less than that. But let's know your limits. But let's focus on it. Let's know your limits. We're going to do a quick deal or no deal. We're going to do land, and then we're going to start. I'm going to push through that way we can get to the question. Limit breakers. Review your savings, right? So personal and business should not mingle. When I review your account, you shouldn't say, oh, I got $10,000 in savings, but $7,000 for my rental car. No. Go open a separate savings account and keep your savings from your business separate from your savings at home. We don't want those two to mingle. The moment they start mingling, you forget what's what, and it's just not good. The 1% rule is always in effect. So when you get a property that costs you $50,000, if you can't rent that property for $500, it's not worth it. Let's talk about it. So if you can't recover 1% through rent monthly of what you just paid out, you're going to go into a hole trying to pay this property off. All right? And pick up a really positive real estate habit. Loan, rent, own, repeat. Loan, rent, own, repeat. Okay? The problem that we had in 2007 and 2008 was a lot of the banks were giving out money for people to get property. So they were loaning and renting. Then they would go get another loan and rent. And they will get another loan and rent. So now they're like, I own 3 properties, and the rent is paying off the properties, I'm good. The problem is when the stock market crashed and the bank made that phone call and said, we need our money back. They just end up taking all their property. All right? And that's no positive way to spend that. It's just by refusing the third part of owning it before you do it again, they never were able to gain an asset. That's why I said we were hit hard during 2008 because we didn't follow this formula. Well, see, some of y'all did, but my coach didn't. And then when it came time to pay up, the money wasn't there. So they took. We became long rent tenants. All right. So we need to keep an eye on that. If anybody's writing this, we can. But that 1% rule is very important too. Make sure that you can at least rent it for 1%. We're gonna have some cool examples. We're gonna play with it as a team. We all a team. Let's play with it. All right, deal or no deal. What's your break even? What is your break even? When you rent an apartment, when you buy an apartment, $50,000. $50,000. You starting to get an apartment, and you're renting it out. How long are you willing to say, okay, I'm willing to go this amount of years before I actually make a true profit? What's your break even? Anybody, what is your break even? If you got an apartment, how many years do you want to go with trying to pay it back until you finally get to that zero? Like, okay, I don't owe anything on it, and I'm in the positive. Everything from here on out is profit. 3 to 5. Average is 7. So if you're not willing to hold it for, if you're not comfortable with a break even of at least 7, let's focus on savings. but no, let's focus on something else just to get you more comfortable. Are you holding it for resale or for passive income? What is your purpose of this property? Did you just see a house downtown Atlanta that was sitting on some land worth millions, but they got it for sale for $100,000, and you went ahead and got it because the whole purpose you getting it because you know you're gonna sell it for a couple million? Or are you using it so when you kick your feet up, you just get a phone call from your landlord saying, hey, got that check for you, and auto deposit? What's the purpose of you having this property? Know the moment that you get this property and start renting it, know what you're renting it for. I'm only holding it because I know that it's located by the University of Georgia and property's going up over there. That's a good reason. Oh, I'm holding it so that my kids can have income because this apartment stays full at all times. It stays 100% occupied because it's located right outside of Georgia Tech. Know what just know your reason. 1% rule, I brought it up again because the 1% rule is in effect. And ready or not, this is determining whether or not this apartment that you're getting ready to buy, is it ready right now for renting? Or when you walk inside, it's work required. All right? This is important. And a lot of people like to write these costs off. No, you capitalize all of these costs. If you walk into an apartment that you paid $30,000 for, and it takes you $10,000 to get it right, that new apartment is $40,000. The 1% rule now is $400, not $300. You need to rent that thing for at least $400. All right? Long rent on repeat. All right, let's play. Deal or no deal? Y'all ready? Okay. Tell me if this is a good deal or not. So, I got $7,000 into this. But this property is located in Athens, Georgia. So I got $7,000 in savings. The rent for this place is $1,200 a month. To get this place, it only costs $50,000. And it's already being rented out, so I ain't even got to fill it up. It already has a tenant in it. Good deal or bad deal? Deal. Wow. Did it pass that test that you made? They passed the 1% test. So if the bare minimum that this rent the bare minimum that this property should have rented for was $500. It's renting for still for $700 a month worth of profit. If not, you can double the payment, which cuts your break even right down the middle. Yeah. You ain't even touching it. Your break even is being broken by itself, right? They're already being rented. Luckily for you, it's a student that just like, hey, I love Athens and I'm here forever. It's my 5th junior year, right? so I'm here. Like, I'm here for a while, and you're like, yay, keep paying that rent. All right. So we take it this week. Okay, across the board. All right. Next deal. I got 15. I got $1,500 in savings. I do. And so I'm ready to start this, y'all. Rent is $800. The loan, because of the land that it's sitting on, and this was in what, somewhere in Missouri, I forgot. And the loan is $180,000. This is a house that's sitting on. Well, this is a fake house, y'all. But this is a house that's sitting on it, and it's gonna take $20,000 to make that thing livable. So that's $200,000. So what is my real what is my real 1% rule? $2,000. The max rent that you're gonna get out of it is $800 a month. Everybody say no. No. All right. Now let's have some fun with this one. I got $10,000 in savings. The rent is $1,250. The loan is $90,000, and it's a foreclosed property. Say it. I did. Why did? Why did? Yep. Okay, you know it. $90,000. It passed the rent. It passed the tax. All right. Who says no deal?
You don't know what you get with a foreclosure.
Who said that? Foreclosure got one problem. The windows are blacked out, and you don't know how much work it takes to get that property back up to live. But I was just gonna say because no.
It should be full disclosure though. They're gonna tell you what's wrong with it, but it's your risk.
Right.
So
Right.
It might not be losing.
Right.
I own foreclosure, so.
Okay.
If you're charging more than 1% on the rent, you might be making more to fix the problems that
Okay, that's true too. This was a 50-50, y'all. This one split the room down the middle, so there's really no wrong answer because literally with a foreclosure, you can walk in and that thing is ready right now. Nothing wrong with it. Or you can turn around and his body's in the ceiling. Foreclosures, y'all, they're tricky, but if you know that you can pull it out, if you look at it and be like, okay, and who's to say like rent in this area this could have been written for $12.50, but rent in this area realistically is $1,800. So you're like, oh snap, I can move my rent to $1,800, blah blah blah, carry on. We good. Okay. But this was on purpose. This was a 50-50. So there's really no wrong answer because it's a whole bunch of what if. What if you walk in and it's beautiful, right? What if you walk in and that thing trash, boy? As soon as you walk in, the whole front of the house comes forward. Like, all right? All right, so look. We give y'all a real situation. Now we deal with a real situation. All right? What do y'all think? No, what's wrong? Rent's too low, but it passed the 1% test. This is Statesboro, Georgia. How much you think rent's gonna be? That's right. Huh? Well, because the house ain't really dead on. They only written you this. You can't go in the they got to go law. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you how to get that's a law. That's a permanent law. That's a law. Right. 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Looks like it's a lot more though, right? Yeah, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. All right. So we got $10,000 in savings. It's rent for $485, and the loan is $380. So and it's already being rented out. Deal. Good. Okay, good deal. Good deal. All right. So the client took this one because it was a great property investment. It was already being rented out, and for 2 years everything was swell. Lady got evicted. All right, she got evicted. All right, so I get a phone call saying, hey Rick, the lady got evicted. She just refused. She didn't want to pay rent no more. She didn't want to live there, so she just let it happen. She just moved out. So she moved all the stuff out, like, and then we just, I don't know why the management took long, but they took 2 months to finally say, okay, it's y'all apartment again. It's not being rented. Okay, good. That's what the apartment looks like when we find out. Those are all dead bugs. That's what the apartment looked like. So it started out as a great deal. 2 years, rent was being paid. The rent was paying the mortgage, in profit, everything was going great. But now we got inside the apartment. That's me over there. That's me. And you see, I ain't touching nothing. I tell you this though, something shot across them. Y'all see the door up ahead right now? Well, I got up out of there. Well, I don't know what to do. That's key. Yeah. So we had to get the carpet out. That was all. That was deep understory. So we had to It was the bathroom was leaking, and it was leaking out. But instead of them flushing the toilet or something, they just left the pee in there, so the pee it just came over. So I didn't even show y'all the picture of the bathroom because I like it. So needless to say, it started out as a great deal. It took $12,000 to get this apartment back rented. How much we have? 10,000. We had 10,000 ready, all right? So we had to dip in the savings a little bit, whatever, to make this happen. But this was a very rare situation. So, but it changes what? It changes what? What changed with the when it took $12,000 to build it? Did we just say now we were still renting for $485? Now, right, the rent minimum is $500. Right? The break even also changed because once we go in more costs, we ain't gonna just walk away. As an owner, you should not walk away with the cost. Pass it along to us. All right. So after $12,000, 3 months of work, and this is what you got. New appliances, of course, because when they came and got that stuff, they're like, you got a lot of cockroaches. That same room that had that broom laying up against the wall, that's that same room. All right, $12,000 later now, new lights, everything, right? Why not? They got a bathroom. We had to put a whole new tub in there too. Tub, sink, toilet, all they do. I didn't touch none of it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like that kind of man. Yeah, but they did a good job on it. And then they got a little thing. So now look, even though the savings is negative 2,000, the apartment is getting ready to rent out at $625. She got to recover some of those costs. The new loan rent, even though the rent is still, even though the loan is only $38,000, we calculated now it's $50. All right, and it's ready and available. So, yo, huh?
Is that in the state's purpose?
Yes.
It's Georgia side?
Yes. It's off. Yeah. Oh, that's something they do with the kids. Where? Towards Stadium Walk. Okay. Yeah. So, Stadium Walk. Huh?
You looking for a 200?
Yes. We'll talk about it later. Okay. All right. Yay. But that's what it looks like right now. So here goes some tools to go because we're gonna wrap this up. But tools to go. This is just random thoughts that I feel like we had to cut back the presentation. We're gonna handle those problems that we had earlier. Let it be your will, literally. Like the problem is I say we as a people. We don't organize our finances to the point where we feel the need to make a will. So we don't hand down. Our kids aren't inheriting enough. Aren't inheriting enough. This is another great tool. We didn't touch on credit. I had to cut that out because credit can get a little tricky. But we can talk about it if y'all want to. But grant credit access, but close the door. If for people, but control the door. I got a sergeant, a former sergeant of mine. He has like $50,000 worth of credit. His daughter just turned 20. So what he did is he made her the authorized user on all his cards. No. This is good. And it's good. And as soon as the cards came, he sent them to a shredder.
Yes.
All right. So her credit score went from 500 flat to 720.
Yeah.
So now she can afford to do something on her own if she so chose to. He opened up the door for her to have credit, but she can't ruin his. All right? So that's what I mean by grant credit. If you have that kind of credit and somebody, and you know that like a kid is coming up and you think that they're financially ready, please, if they're not financially ready, no. But if you think they're financially ready, then grant them that access, but I don't care how much you love them, you control that door.
That's right.
They do not get that $50,000, access to that $50,000. When it comes to buying homes, when it comes to getting loans, it's always little bank take big bank. All right. So, and what I mean by that is you always go with the not just Wells Fargo or Bank of America, but the credit unions and your local banks have more of an incentive to get you the money out because they're trying to keep the money in their community, and they get to keep an eye on the property to see if you actually got it. So they don't mind lending out the money at a rate because they know that, okay, renting it out to somebody in this community, this is going to bring more to the community, which brings us more money, blah, blah, blah. We work it, all right? Change your credit habits from consumer to investor. So we actually been going over this entire slideshow. We've talked about how we're going to stop spending so much and start focusing on our savings. We talked about how when we go home, we're going to open the door, see everything we own, and then we're going to say, okay, if I start buying stock, this is what I'm buying stock in. All right, I'm going to get a return on my money. And have a winning financial circle, right? So what is a winning financial circle? A winning financial circle should have someone that's debt-free, somebody that's almost debt-free, and somebody that's completely in debt. Why would y'all think that that's a winning circle? Right. So if I'm debt-free and you trying to get there, you halfway there, and I keep pushing you. When you get debt-free, then you're going to push that person that's completely in debt. And then when all three of us are debt-free, we're going to break up our little circle and start a new one with people that are halfway in debt. Man, I'm almost there. I got to break it. And somebody that's completely in debt. I don't know where to start. That's my favorite person. I don't know. Stop going to that. I love that. So, winning advice from a multimillionaire. This is somebody that I had dinner with. You just like make sure you're highly passionate about your financial wealth. Different levels of income are important in your circle. So if me, you, and you all make $100,000, we can't really benefit each other. We can have a great time talking to each other, but we need somebody that's making 30, somebody that's making 50 in our circle. And then when we get them in our circle, we need to start talking wealthy to them. Let's start talking like they already have wealth. So then they can start carrying themselves like someone that already has wealth. Then they'll start dropping off all these bad habits that's keeping them from wealth. All right? So we have to do that with each other. Once we start doing that with each other, it's contagious, it spreads. And then once we, a good contagious, because it's flu season, you gotta say that. So we just need to focus on each other, make sure that, okay, I'm debt free, I make a lot of money, this person is in debt, let me start talking wealthy to them already, and then let's see where it goes, all right? So let's look out for each other. I'll skip this one, but set individual goals as a team. That's crazy, right? But if me, Dr. Beecham, and we're all in the same team, I need to set a goal for myself. You two are gonna hold me accountable. All right? Hold me accountable. Not necessarily when you see me getting a back snap, you're gonna be like, really, come on now. But more, okay, you said by it's October, you said by February, and set dates. You said by February 2nd, you would have saved $1,500. How is that going? All right? And once we start setting each other goals like that, like, okay, I'm almost there, I'm at 1,000, blah, 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 we need to look out for each other that way. Nobody else is looking out for us. Too many people are in our pockets, but not trying to help us, not trying to give us a hand up. So let's get them out of our pockets until they give us a hand up. But until then, let's help ourselves, okay? All right? So this presentation is my baby budget's presentation, but always remember what you're doing it for. So these are the two I'm doing it for. So that's Little Rick and that's Autumn. So I got a picture of this everywhere I go because those are my twins, and these are who I'm doing it for. So every time I feel like I can just take a break from saving and just, oh no, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. I always remember like every dollar I spend today is almost $12 or $11 out of their pocket. So I need to focus on making sure that they don't fall into the debt trap that I fell in going to college and all that stuff. And I just took on debt. And then, so by making them financially stable, I've now created a financial bridge for my family to get across. And that's what it's all about. So, I got cards. I got cards back here, and I also got cards for